Section 5 of Hurlbut's Bible Lessons. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Hurlbut's Bible Lessons by Jesse Lyman Hurlbut. Section 5.
Part Fifth. The Kingdom and People of Judah. Lesson 38. The Early Kings of Judah. Tell stories 1, 2, and 3 in Part Fifth. Number 1. Where was the Kingdom of Judah?
West of the Dead Sea.
Number 2. What was its chief city?
Jerusalem.
Number 3. How many kings reigned over the Kingdom of Judah?
19 kings and 1 queen.
Number 4. To what family did all these kings belong?
To the family of David.
Number 5. Who was the first king of Judah?
Rehoboam.
Number 6. Who was the greatest and strongest of the kings of Judah?
Jehoshaphat.
Number 7. What wicked woman made herself queen and ruled the land?
Athaliah.
Number 8. What little boy was crowned king after Athaliah?
Joash.
Number 9. What king became a leper?
Uzziah.
Number 10. What great prophet lived in Judah at that time and saw the Lord in the temple?
Isaiah.
Lesson 39. The later kings of Judah. Tell stories 4, 5, and 6 in Part Fifth. Number 1. Who was the best of all the kings of Judah?
Hezekiah.
Number 2. From what enemies did the Lord save the city of Jerusalem in the time of Hezekiah?
From the Assyrians.
Number 3. What bad king became good after being put into prison?
Manasseh.
Number 4. What king, while he was young, chose the Lord and followed him?
Josiah.
Number 5. What lost book was found in the temple in the time of Josiah?
The Book of the Law.
Number 6. Who was the last king of Judah?
Zedekiah.
Number 7. What prophet warned the people by Judah of evils that were coming?
Jeremiah.
Number 8. What great king over many lands came against Jerusalem?
Nebuchadnezzar.
Number 9. What did Nebuchadnezzar do?
He burned the city and the temple.
Number 10. To what land did he carry away all the people of Judah?
To the land of Babylonia.
Lesson 40. The Jews in Babylon. Tell stories 7, 8, and 9 in Part Fifth. Number 1. By what name were the people of Judah called after they were taken to Babylon?
By the name Jews.
Number 2. What prophet among them saw a vision?
Ezekiel.
Number 3. What prophet lived in the palace of King Nebuchadnezzar?
Daniel.
Number 4. What did Daniel and his Jewish friends in the palace refuse to eat?
The meat and wine of the king.
Number 5. What did God help Daniel to do for King Nebuchadnezzar?
To tell him the meaning of his dreams.
Number 6. What did 3 friends of Daniel refuse to do?
To bow down before a golden image.
Number 7. What was done to these men?
They were thrown into a furnace of fire.
Number 8. Whom did King Nebuchadnezzar see with those men in the fire?
The Lord God.
Number 9. What did God do for these men in the fire?
He kept them alive.
Lesson 41. Daniel. Tell stories 10, 11, and 12 in Part Fifth. Number 1. What came upon King Nebuchadnezzar?
He lost his mind for 7 years.
Number 2. What became of the Babylonian kingdom when Nebuchadnezzar died?
It lost its power.
Number 3. Who was the last king in Babylon?
Belshazzar.
Number 4. What did Belshazzar see one night in his palace?
A handwriting on the wall.
Number 5. Who read the writing to the king?
Daniel.
Number 6. What did the writing mean?
That his kingdom was ended.
Number 7. How was the kingdom ended?
The city was taken and Belshazzar was killed.
Number 8. What kingdom took the place of the Babylonian kingdom?
The kingdom of Persia.
Number 9. What was done to Daniel after this?
He was thrown into a den of lions.
10. How was Daniel saved from the lions?
The Lord shut the lions' mouths.
Lesson 42. The Return from Babylon. Tell stories 13 and 14 in part fifth. 1. Who broke up the Babylonian kingdom and formed the kingdom of Persia?
Cyrus.
2. How did Cyrus, the new king, treat the Jews who were in Babylon?
He was kind to them.
3. What did Cyrus allow the Jews to do?
To go back to their own land.
4. How long had the Jews been in the land of Babylon?
70 years.
5. What happy journey did the Jews take?
To the land of Judea.
6. What city did they begin to build again?
The city of Jerusalem.
7. What house did they build?
The temple of God.
8. Who led the Jews in their journey and their building?
Zerubbabel the ruler.
9. What prophet encouraged the people to build?
Haggai and Zechariah.
Lesson 43. Queen Esther. Tell story 15 in part fifth. 1. In what city did the king of Persia live?
In the city of Shushan.
2. What beautiful Jewish girl lived in Shushan?
Esther.
3. Who cared for Esther and brought her up?
Her cousin Mordecai.
4. Who was the king of Persia at the time?
Ahasuerus.
5. What did King Ahasuerus do when he saw Esther?
He made her queen.
6. Who stood next to the king in power?
A man named Haman.
7. What law did Haman cause King Ahasuerus to make?
That all the Jews should be killed.
8. What did Queen Esther do when she heard that this law had been made?
She went to the king in his palace.
9. What did she ask the king to do?
To spare the lives of her people.
10. What became of Haman, the Jews' enemy?
He was put to death.
Lesson 44. The end of the Old Testament. Tell stories 16, 17, and 18 in part fifth. 1. What good man came to Jerusalem soon after the time of Queen Esther?
Ezra the scribe.
2. What was a scribe among the Jews?
One who wrote copies of God's laws.
3. What great work did Ezra do?
He brought together the books of the Old Testament.
4. What did Ezra do at Jerusalem?
He taught the people to obey God's law.
5. What other good man came while Ezra was at Jerusalem?
Nehemiah.
6. What did Nehemiah do?
He helped the people to build a wall around the city.
7. Why did they need a wall around the city?
To make it strong against enemies.
8. What was done at a great meeting of the people when the wall was finished?
The law was read to the people.
9. Who was the last prophet of the Old Testament?
Malachi.
Lesson 45. Review of Jewish people. 1. How many kings reigned over Judah?
19 kings and 1 queen.
2. Who was the first king of Judah?
Rehoboam.
3. Who was the greatest king?
Jehoshaphat.
4. Who was the youngest when he became king?
Joash.
5. Who was the best of the kings?
Hezekiah.
6. What prophet saw the Lord in the temple?
Isaiah.
7. What young king chose the Lord and followed him?
Josiah.
8. Who was the last king of Judah?
Zedekiah.
9. To what land were the people of Judah carried as captives?
To Babylonia.
10. What prophet saw the vision of the valley of dry bones?
Ezekiel.
11. What prophet lived in the palace of the king of Babylon?
Daniel.
12. Who was the great king of Babylon?
Nebuchadnezzar.
13. What king of Babylon saw the handwriting on the wall?
Belshazzar.
14. Who was kept alive when thrown into a den of lions?
Daniel.
Number 15. How long were the Jews captive in Babylon?
70 years.
Number 16. Who allowed the Jews to go back to their own land?
Cyrus.
Number 17. What queen saved the lives of her people?
Esther.
Number 18. Who read the law of God to the people in Jerusalem?
Ezra.
Number 19. Who helped the Jews to build a wall around the city?
Nehemiah.
Number 20. Who was the last prophet of the Old Testament?
Malachi.
End of the Old Testament lessons.
End of section 5.